And with our next topic, we're gonna address the annual NFL top 100 list, comprised of, I believe, executives, coaches, and players all vote, or just players. Only players.
This is only players.
I believe they said I think they had 900 plus players vote on this year, and we're just gonna address some of. We're gonna do a quick banner. We're gonna address some of this. The list is usually compiled pretty fairly. Nothing that is opinion based doesn't come without controversy. I think that's fair to say.
That's why I think sometimes they do it though, so we do bring up these things and talk about
I do believe that there are times where like a player is like 2 votes away from another player, and they purposely have the player who gets like the 2 less votes higher just to create it. Because here's the thing. Why put the list out if no one pays attention?
Yeah, fact.
You know what I mean? Like everyone does it. Like it's not clickbait. It's just, why put that much effort into go unnoticed? So we have a couple what I believe to be snubs on a list that I truly do believe is fairly accurate every year. This year I do think maybe because we've been sitting at home a little more that we're able to kind of nitpick it. Like we have enough time to nitpick it. As before, like it's like so and so's 45. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like I gotta cook dinner. You know what I mean? Like, but no, we could sit at home. The fact that this year, I want to say it was exclusively released on YouTube. It wasn't like the countdown that they normally do. They usually do like a week by week countdown, which was surprising because I would think
like
during the
type.
It was.
Yeah, like it was just like over the last 4 days they've released the whole list.
Intel that there was.
It was on the NFL Network and on YouTube, but they used to do it 1 week at a time, 10.
Right, by 10 by 10 by 10. 30, exactly. And then
they took a whole
because the last 10 used to always be like the biggest deal. Like who's top 10?
And like I know this wasn't the topic, but I think that's a very interesting marketing strategy because it's kind of like
makes you want it.
I would compare it to is like we all know like DJ Khaled is one of those guys who comes out with a huge smash single every time.
Yeah.
Single. I got the keys. I
don't like that.
Yeah, he huge, and most people aren't doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And then this last time, he just put the album out. Like there was no single. He got beat out by Tyler the Creator. He got a little butthurt about it. He had comments. But I feel like the NFL Top 100 was similar to that in the regards of they're gonna nickel and dime us to death, but the controversy builds every week, and it was a great marketing strategy. Really and I understand over the times we digest things differently, but it did make me think like people are at home and all they can do is be on Twitter and debate this. Why not? Maybe not spread it out, and maybe it's because this came out a little bit later than usual. I think with training camp coming out, usually it comes out about 4 or 5 weeks earlier than this. But at the same time, I feel like you could have done a Monday, Saturday, Monday, Friday thing. But I think it was very interesting. I think they knew this was going to be the most controversial. So sometimes you just kind of want to microwave shit. You know what I mean? So I have in our snub section,
give me a snub.
They had Matthew Judon from the Baltimore Ravens at 107.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, that man's in my 60 to 48 range. Like he's a dog, bro.
They had the dude for Indianapolis, Leonard. What's his last name?
Darius at 50, I believe.
Dude, 50, 5-0, bro. So you think he's in that range? One might say.
I would say I would say that. And but I'll also say this: maybe not the biggest, but Darius Leonard's higher than 50. Yeah. I think what the problem is, and this isn't a disrespect, this happens in every sport. A lot of people talk about this. There are a couple of the OG veterans who are high that shouldn't be as high as they are, but out of respect to what they're doing and how. Our perfect example, we're going to talk. J.J. Watt. One I was going to say that you brought up earlier, not to throw you under the bus. Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I didn't like him at 69. I don't agree with this.
But here's the thing. Larry asterisk, Josh shakes his head. I just believe that it's impressive what he's doing at that age. Yeah. So they give him more credit.
But that doesn't mean that you're in the top 100 at what you do, though.
That's where the opinion comes in, though. Because here's the thing. A lot of these players who are voting wish that when they're at his age, they can perform like that. Yeah. Which is why they're giving him the credit. Like, these are people who go to war for 16 plus weeks throughout a year, and like him being out there going to war. There's people who go to war don't make it to 36.
So let's continue going off of that. So let's continue. So Keenan Allen at 77, but we want to give Larry Fitz to 69.
Okay,
I did want to hold
it. I wanted to hold this till later, towards the end of it.
Yeah,
but we can jump right into it. I'm going to list to you a few wide receivers and tight ends that are higher than Keenan Allen.
Crap.
And you tell me if he is better than them. Mike Evans.
That was such a good debate when he called him out. I was like, man, he's like, you're not my level, but statistics would say otherwise. But I still think just for deep threat purposes, I will go with Mike Evans. Just for deep
So the
threat
answer
purposes.
is no, Keenan
I know.
Allen is not
For that one. Only for that purpose.
Julio Jones.
Okay, but he's obviously higher.
This is
but yes,
these are
okay,
yes or no
yes,
questions.
okay, fine, yes, he's better, yeah.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I'm taking Devontae Adams, yes, of course.
Adam Thielen.
I'm not taking no, I'm not taking I'm taking Keenan Allen.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Adam Thielen might not have been higher. I think I miswrote that. Okay, here's one.
Godwin.
I think this is one of the most.
Chris Godwin, 38. No.
As you can see, Travis is way more comfortable this week than he was last week.
Negative.
I believe in their offense, he's a bigger threat.
Of course.
But I think that's a factor.
In the who?
In their offense, he's a bigger threat. I do believe, as a well-rounded receiver, all the routes, all the trees, hand speed, all that, blocking in general, Keenan Allen is better, but in that offense, he's able to produce some more. Just like we just talked about the Draymond thing. In that offense, he's a bigger threat than he would be if he was on Portland. But he is. So the reality we live in is he's there.
He's doing better.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that offense caters him. I'm a Falcons fan. Kyle Shanahan ran that offense in Atlanta, and you know what happened when they got him? They got rid of Roddy White. And I'm not saying that Keenan Allen is Roddy White, but they're very similar in games. He's probably better than Roddy White in the long run, but it's very similar games.
I say better than White.
Yeah, but it's very similar games. They run the stop route like a
but
nobody creates
they block well. Nobody in the league creates separation.
And Roddy White led the league in receptions one year. So what's that say?
I'm just saying. I'm just
okay, so let's go back before Travis started feeling his cojones a little bit. George Kittle, is he better than George Kittle?
Of course not.
Is he better than Tyreek Hill?
Yes. As a receiver, yes.
Okay, and this back to what I was saying is the most controversial one of this. Because I believe this guy is either one of the most well-rounded wide receivers that we don't talk about, or he's the most overrated motherfucker that we just refuse to talk about.
Who?
Stephon Diggs. It's Stephon Diggs. I think that is if Keenan Allen has any beef, his beef should be that Stephon Diggs is higher than him. Because I believe they are close to the same person.
I think
Josh, do you agree with that? Yeah, they're very similar.
I'd say I still taking Keenan Allen over Stephon Diggs.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think that there's a beef. Like, I don't believe Keenan Allen calling out Mike Evans makes sense. That's a Julio call. That's a big vibe.
Even for myself, I was like, oh, come on, Keenan. Like,
Because here's the thing, they don't do
just compare. Just compare. Say you're even.
Because here's the thing, like, they don't do the same thing. Like, Mike Evans don't get out of breaks the way Keenan Allen gets out of breaks. But also, I've seen Mike Evans take shots across the middle that he knows he can take because he's bigger than him. Like, I love Keenan Allen because he caught the ball and lacerated his spleen. I think it was his spleen, right? The same that he knew he was gonna get fucked up.
And he dogged that holding out for Jameis Winston that one time.
Yeah, and that
was lit.
Bro, I've seen Jameis, and the one thing I'll give Mike Evans is, I don't believe Jameis Winston is the worst quarterback to ever play the game. A lot of people give him shit. But I've also seen him throw what Michael Irvin describes as "fuck your buddy" passes.
Yeah, I know.
And Jameis Winston might be leading the league, and I don't care about you getting your next contract.
Him and Kirk Cousins.
Like, I will let you die.
Redskins, Kirk Cousins was throwing.
In Redskins, Kirk Cousins' defense, he had Deshaun Jackson, a bald Vernon Davis, and Josh Dotson.
And Reed, who would play him once every 4 games.
And Jordan Reed got concussions at 6'6". I'm not blaming Kirk Cousins for that. You got to jump to hit me in my head, bro. That's all on you.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
I just think
Keenan was snubbed.
He was snubbed. Okay, so where should she be? Or where? Excuse me. Pardon me. Where should? As you can tell, the claws have got your voice.
Oh wow.
Where should he be? If Julio's 11, Devontae is 57, Diggs is 54. George Kittle 7 and Tyreek Hill is 22.
Oh god.
And OBJ and Jarvis Landry are both in the low 60s, like 61 and 63, I believe.
Crazy. Yeah.
Where
someone like I said, because how is Godwin 38? That makes no sense to me. See, I was willing to compromise 77, maybe put him in like the high 40s or something like that. Maybe even low 50s, maybe something like that. Because they got Mark Ingram at 44.
Don't get me wrong. All right,
don't agree with that whatsoever.
That's way too. But we're gonna go back to our snubs. We're gonna go back to our snubs.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
We're gonna stick with the wide receivers. But God damn it, Trav. What we're gonna say is Godwin. Goodwin or Godwin? Godwin. He is. If you remember, the Atlanta Falcons run to the Super Bowl. Taylor Gabriel was playing that Godwin role.
Number 3.
I'm small. I'm going to run past you. Godwin's bigger, Probably has better hands, I would say.
Godwin
has what I refer to as run from the cop speed.
He does.
There's no way to actually mark what he has.
That's a perfect
it's just like if someone's next to him, he's going to run past him. Like his 40 time doesn't matter to me. Because if you put like someone behind him, he's gonna run faster than them.
Kind of like Tony Jefferson.
He had game speed. Exactly, game speed.
Shout out TJ.
Shout out. Hey, you're gonna get yours, man. But so my thing is like this. Do we also think that players are voting this knowing that maybe Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw the ball to him? But are we aware of how many missed opportunities he may have had?
Wait, Jimmy Garoppolo?
All right, so Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw the ball to him, but he killed the corner. Are we aware that maybe players are voting on this? Like the corners are aware, like, hey, he might not have got the ball, but when I looked up, he's 6 yards ahead of me. And yes, Keenan Allen's getting it, but let's be honest here. The Chargers didn't pay. What's my man who's in Oakland right now that should have been paid by the Chargers?
Williams. No,
Williams.
We gotta let him go.
Yeah, he demanded too much money, but
we had to let him go.
And you have Travis Benjamin.
Oh, thank God.
Who actually, when you were playing here and he was playing here, was actually the second worst Travis in San Diego playing wide receiver. And he had Mike Williams, the one he had the spine injury 2 years ago, right? Out of Clemson, who's not developed it. I don't think he's going to be bad, but it's going to take some time.
1,000 yards. He had
1,000, but it wasn't. You can look at it when it's soft. You know a soft owl. Obviously 1,000 yards, but we know a soft owl wow when we see a soft owl wow. And here's my thing is like this: you can't argue that Keenan's that much better than Roddy White when Matt Ryan force-fed him the ball to lead the league in receptions, and arguably because Hunter Henry came back hurt, the Chargers did the same thing.
I think Keenan Allen's stats, they show it every year, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, don't get me wrong. He has stats. And speaking of stats, we're going to go to the next one. I don't have the exact stats for this, but I know Julio got him in some of these. My biggest snub, or maybe not biggest, I'm going to be, actually, you know what? Let me go to my other one. Julian Edelman was 101. And I get it. We hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. If anyone hates the Patriots,
you hate the Patriots.
I hate the Patriots.
You got to pay for tattoos for Patriots.
Bro, I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry.
Hey, don't tell them what my W-2 look like, bro. Right. But 101 is disrespectful. Yes, I get it. And I think this is also a detriment to, like, one, people don't like the Patriots, and two, they didn't have the season that they usually have. Of course. But I would say this. Maybe not out of the actual break or cutting or deep threat, but Julian Edelman's on that short list of guys you have to know where he is, and he makes you work in man coverage more than anyone else pre-snap. He can line up anywhere. They throw him everywhere. Yeah. He throws the ball. He runs reverses. They're fake reverses. I think, to be honest with you, and obviously I can't speak on this. I've never played past I played varsity 1 year. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just, I feel like there's a lot of hate coming towards it, and a lot of hate coming towards him, and I don't think it should be like that. I hate the term sneakily athletic. I believe we use that term when white guys are nice and niggas don't want to admit that the white boy is nice. You know what I mean?
It's hard to admit the white man's nice.
Hey, you know what?
But when they're nice, Julian
Edelman, the white boy is nice. The white boy is nice. And I don't like to think of it as a racing for the list, but I like to think about people's criteria and how they judge him. That might be a factor, to be honest with you. And I just think it's just like, bro.
Is he really top 100, though?
He's top.
You really think he's top 100?
Look at the Julian Edelman tape. He's going point A, point B, direct snap, up the sideline. They come right back the next play, throw a hitch to this man. He gets off the field for half a second to get cussed out by Bill Belichick, and then goes back and runs a pivot route for a touchdown.
Let me ask you this. Out of all the receivers we just talked about, right? So Keenan was 77. So all these receivers we just talked about.
Is he better than
any of those receivers we just talked about? Because I don't think he is.
I'll say this. In comparison, arguably because of stats and everything, he might not be better than the other receivers on this list. Because I believe this is the best year. I think they had like 17 receivers on the list or something along those lines. 17
receivers are lit. I mean,
the receivers are lit. It's a softer game. Yeah, you can go across the middle. People aren't trying to end your life.
Yeah, I know.
But I'll say this. Because we aren't talking about, we're talking about snubs as an overall and not comparisons. There are probably other guys on this list that are better, that he's better than at his position, but because it's so impacted, he ends up at 101. Because let's be honest, if you look at this list, Julian Edelman is the one you're going to short. You know what I mean? Because he is sneakily athletic. You know what I mean? But I don't believe that gives you the grounds to not put him in because we hate the Patriots and he's a little white boy. You know what I mean? Because we love Wes Welker. We loved Austin Collie. You know,
I don't like Wes Welker. I still hate that man for dropping the ball that he did in the Super Bowl. Just absolutely ridiculous.
I have a lot of thoughts about Wes Welker, but I want this show to take off before I tell you them. All right, and let's go to one of my last snubs I had, or the last one. Someone has to make sense to me, and I do believe these receivers are on the same level.
Okay.
But there's some things I believe that should be factors now because of solidarity and performances that should be addressed. DeAndre Hopkins, I believe, was 3 spots above Julio Jones.
Yes.
He had 5 more catches for 100 and something less yards, and I believe he had like 2 tubs less. I believe I'm not sure, but I think Julio had 6, and he might have had like he either had 8 or he had 4. I don't know if it was 2 tubs more, 2 tubs less. I can't remember off the top. But my thing is like this. I believe DeAndre Hopkins is clearly top 5 dead or alive. Like I'm not even talking. I'm talking
dead or alive.
I'm talking period. Not
yeah.
I'm talking period in this. But my thought is, we always give him the crutch of you've had horrible quarterbacks.
Which he has.
One of my favorite games is to list Texans quarterbacks because it's more.
TJ Yates. That's your favorite. That's your favorite.
TJ Yates. First Houston Texan quarterback to win a playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
If I had $1 for every time, I promise you, people, I'd be filthy.
Fuck Marvin Lewis.
Filthy.
But here's my thing is, actually, let's give it up for the audience coming in with the food. Hey, I don't care what they say about you guys over at the Price is Right lot. We appreciate you here. But it just throws me off. It's just, my point. He finally has a quarterback he's had for a full 3 years. Deshaun Watson did tear his ACL, and I feel like people, for the record, people forget that he tore his ACL. I swear to God, that's like not a thing we talk about.
He was like leading the league like in like tubs or yards or something like the first 4 or 5
I feel like we talk about certain people like tearing their ACL. There's like if there's 2 people I forget, like I believe Allen Robinson and Deshaun Watson have both torn their ACLs, and no one acts like that ever happened. Like I'm just like. But like Adrian Peterson tore it, and we act like the whole world collapsed. AP, you're a beast.
Well,
but I'm just saying,
he came back.
He came back like a man. But then we praise him for it because he came back like a man, and we don't praise Deshaun Watson, who I'm not even a huge fan of. But it's just like, bro, look at the numbers. You can't lie. Like I cannot like your style, the way he plays, but it's like the results are results, bro. Like you know what I mean? So it's like he finally gets a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He gets, the solidarity's there. The team, like, they make trades for Kenny Stills. They try to give him some help because Will Fuller has problems catching the ball. He's not Elson Aguilar. Hamstrings. He's got hamstrings that are thinner than this piece of paper, ladies and gentlemen.
Facts.
They get Kenny Stills. They get Jeremy Tunsil. They make good trades. And I get it. We've been hyping him up while he deserved it. But now that we see the results of him having a full couple seasons with his own quarterback, and these are the numbers. Granted, I think Billy O is one of the worst coaches in the league. Not at actually coaching football, but managing players.
Yeah, it's not that good.
He's mad at that man like he slept with his wife.
The Texans are lucky they had him, but I mean it's a different.
And I give Bill O'Brien credit. He's won that division numerous times with numerous quarterbacks. Right. We've seen from Ryan Mallett to T.J. Yates to Matt Schaub to Ryan Fitzpatrick. We saw Tom Savage. We've seen. But and DeAndre Hopkins performed at all times. But now that he's got his guy.
He's not bad.
Excuse me. DeAndre Hopkins no longer has his guy.
Yeah.
He's somewhere else. But he had his guy. I feel like the players gave him more credit because of what he had to endure. Okay. Kind of like the Larry Fitzgerald thing.
I'm about to say, tying it back to Larry Fitzgerald.
As opposed to what the numbers were. Because I'm sorry, don't get me wrong.
He's not better than Julio. I mean, at the end of the day, he's
don't get me wrong, though.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm not mad at you if you believe that. Yeah. To be honest with you, I was more on the DeAndre Hopkins is better than Julio than AB argument back in the day. I think that was clearly. I'm like, if this man has math teachers, grocery store clerks, and dudes built like me out there throwing him the ball, it's just like, why is it
Are
like...
Are you Roethlisberger now?
Public service announcement. I believe that Ben Roethlisberger comes into camp heavier than Villanueva every season. I swear on God's green earth.
Sheesh.
This man is...
The hat's off for this one.
He's built like potato salad. And not the good one either. We're talking the one with the raisins and the pears.
From Walmart or what?
No, the Walmart one's probably better. The Walmart one's probably better. He is built he's
Kirkland
built...
potato salad?
You know what Ben Roethlisberger built like? Like you didn't actually mash the potatoes or dice them. It's just raw potatoes and the potato
disgusting.
salad. That's what he's built like.
Disgusting.
But he literally said this is the first season he's worked out in the off season.
Yeah.
How do you have 2? But anyway, actually that's a testament to you. You have 2 Super Bowls without working out. I wish I had that. I got 2 DoorDash passes without working out, so it's whatever. But it's just, I just believe that it doesn't we're giving him too much credit. Because every player goes through an emotional thing during it, and I know it sucks when your coach hates you or whatever. But you guys performed on the field. It'd be different if he had an off year, all this happened, and they voted him high, because then I could be like, he had to deal with some shit. Mm-hmm. But he had a good year. So let's just call the stats the stats.
Like I said, I think he hit it on the head. Like you said, they give him the credit. They give him the credit for what he did, with what he had, and then the fact that he was still able to do the things he was doing. That's what gives him the upper for now. But like I would agree, I'm taking Julio.
You tell
healthy Julio though. I need a full at least 14 games. You can miss 2 Julio.
Julio hasn't missed
14.
He hasn't missed more than 3 games in 3 years, I believe.
Okay, well I need that. That's all I'm saying, because I'm gonna get at least 13 for sure. I'm getting 1,300 yards easily, and I'm getting 8 tubs. I need that. Besides the 1 year where he couldn't get a tub because Matt Ryan sucks. Hey, you killed my fantasy year before that, by the way.
Matt Ryan has the most yards through 12 years in the NFL, and Julio Jones has the most yards through his 10 years in the NFL. For anyone who wants to talk about stats, look the numbers up. This ain't PTI, but you niggas lie. All right. But, hey, this is the Young and the Wash. You tell us who you believe are the biggest snubs. Leave them in the comment section. And above all, Travis don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Fuck you. Keenan Allen, biggest snub.